Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into this week's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cobold, out here in Denver, Colorado. Joining me again, my guy, Max Faulkner, hanging out in Nashville, Tennessee. Maxwell, what's going on, my guy?
Hey, Breezy. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Hell yeah.
How about it? Christmas is just in a few days here. We're going to have football on Sunday. We have football on Monday on Christmas.
Football on Saturday.
On Saturday, too. When was the last time we had a football game on Christmas?
I want to say,
yeah.
I want to say it's been going on. Maybe not every year, but I don't know how often, but I wouldn't say this is the first.
Maybe it was last year. Maybe it was on last year. I don't remember, actually.
It's tough to remember.
When you're with family and when you're with friends, it's just hard to focus on something outside of that.
Sure.
Outside of the circle,
Speaking of family and friends, what do you have planned for the holidays, Max?
Oh, we're going home. We're going to go visit the family. Claudia's family's
in
town right now.
Where's that at?
Ooh, good old St. John, Indiana, right by Chicago, everybody. But Northwest Indiana. I'm an Indiana boy with Indiana dreams. That does not mean anything, but I'm happy to be raised in the Midwest. Great family-oriented town.
Oh yeah,
and raised right. So I'm really excited to see my family. How about you, Cobrizi? You got some big plans?
No, just hanging out here. Gonna have the family up from Colorado Springs. Kelly's twin brother and family gonna do Christmas at the new place here in Denver, and it's gonna be fun. Gonna make my pulled pork on Christmas Eve.
That's really good.
Now on this podcast we throw around the word juicy a lot. Extra juicy dogs. We say juicy a lot, but when I say this pulled pork, this honey balsamic pulled pork is juicy, I'm not lying. Can you attest to that, Max?
Cobrizi, when I was in California, Cobrizi came down to visit, and he told me, "Hey, thank you for letting me come over. I'm gonna make
said it like that, huh?
I'm gonna make some pulled pork." And I'm like, "Okay, sounds good, man." So I had to work. I came back, and the house was definitely had a aroma of this pork, and I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever this guy's making, this is legit." Okay, and I remember my first reaction when I saw it. I was definitely my mouth was watering, and then he puts on my plate and he hands it over to me, and I go, "Cobrizi, no bun? You're not gonna you don't put these on a bun?" And he goes, "Oh, don't let the bun take the flavor from the meat." Sure enough, actually, you were right. You were definitely right, because it did not need anything else. Okay, that meat with that sauce, woo. It is quite tasty, my friend, and your family is very lucky to be able to have that on Christmas Eve.
Hell yeah. I'm thinking it's going to be a Christmas special. It's going to be a Christmas special every year, I think.
Like it.
But this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, first off, Max, we got to talk about a milestone that we hit. Sorry, before I get ahead of myself. Last week we came out here, we asked the people, we asked you guys to tell your friends about this podcast. Max, what happened?
Unbelievably, remarkably, graciously, gratefully, any other Christmas like happiness type terms that can we bring out here? Merrily, we were 8 away from 200
subscribers.
8 away, and just in this week we've gotten 12. We picked up 12 subscribers. We are at 204. We have hit our goal before the new year.
Before Christmas.
Unbelievable. And before Christmas, how about that? Everyone, thank you. Thank you for coming and supporting us. Thank you for coming out tonight to support us. We appreciate you guys all so much. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate your likes and your love. And thank you for subscribing and helping the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast to continue to thrive, as we got new goals to shoot for, Cobrizi. We're going to have to start making some New Year's resolutions, because we already hit our end of the year resolution. This is unbelievable, man.
Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. This week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, we're going to bring in a guest later on. Not going to tell you who it is. Got to stay tuned. Going to be talking NFL with him to finish up. In the middle, we're going to be talking college basketball. It's a light week this week. It's a light week next week, before conference play starts up. But we're still going to be talking about our teams, and we got a couple new teams to talk about. But we're going to start with breaking news out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Timberwolves star guard Anthony Edwards has been exposed for allegedly pressuring a pregnant model that's carrying his baby to get an abortion.
Oh, jeez.
The model, Paige Jorday, shared screenshots of text conversations that were allegedly with Anthony Edwards. She sent him a picture of a positive pregnancy test. Quote from Anthony Edwards, "Hell nah, I can't do this." Quote from Jorday, "So now what?" Quote from Edwards, "Get an abortion, LOL." End quote. Jorday also posted a photo of a $100,000 wire transfer that she received from Anthony Edwards. She got $100,000 from Anthony Edwards. Edwards' current girlfriend, Janine Robles, took to Instagram last week and announced that she is also pregnant.
Oh, my goodness.
This is a Zion Williamson situation all over again here, Max.
Oh, my goodness.
Both of these guys were back-to-back number one picks, 2019 and 2020, spent one season in college basketball. What do you think about Anthony Edwards walking down the Zion Williamson path?
First off, I missed the Zion Williamson story. That was a juicy one in the summertime. Oh, my goodness. We talked about that for weeks.
We had a weekly update there for a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. It was spicing up every single week. The text messages that Mariah Mills was sending to Zion. Oh, my. It was dirty. It was dirty. I guarantee that she got some subscribers on her whatever porn site that she's on. I'm sure she got a lot of fans from that. So maybe it was all a publicity stunt just for her. Who knows? But at the end of the day, Zion did put himself in a bad situation there, regardless. Now, moving on to Anthony Edwards, man, these young guys with all this money, they were just making some terrible, terrible decisions. And to tell a girl that you got pregnant, well, again, allegedly, right? Allegedly, let's not jump to conclusions yet. Let's wait till we actually find out the facts. But if we're gonna go there, because it does sound like, it kind of seems like it is real. You don't tell someone don't tell a woman to have an abortion.
No,
that is so wrong.
No.
Oh my goodness, that's wrong. In fact, I will go as far as to say that it's evil. That I find it evil. It's not a good thing. It's a selfish thing to say and to do, and then to pay her $100,000. Apparently, $100,000 is worth a baby's life. I suppose. So it's disgusting to me, Cole Breezy. What else you got on that?
I'm thinking the $100,000 was probably for the abortion plus to keep her quiet about it. I'm thinking that's what the money was for. Now she doesn't want to get this abortion. She had an abortion 2 years ago and said she regrets it every day. And Anthony Edwards doesn't care. He doesn't want any kids. He keeps asking for videos of her taking the abortion pills, I guess, and she doesn't want to do it. He just keeps asking her for videos of proof. So it's messy. It's just like freaking Zion. You definitely can't tell anybody to get abortion. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Anthony Edwards, way out of line. But just to talk about Zion real quick, you brought up Mariah Mills. It's funny because she came out with a video today that our guy, she didn't miss a chance to jump in the news. Queef Wilson and Queef Bunk. Shout out to those two Queefs. They both sent me this video. Mariah Mills came out talking about Zion. You'll have to go look at it, but she said that Zion needs to hit the treadmill. He needs to lose weight. Okay, he's too big. Got to put it up to speed 3. She's right. Number 2, she said he's drinking too much soda. Zion, she says, okay. Also says he's all he can do is dunk. He's one-dimensional. That's all he can do. He needs to develop his game more. and that Zion is tired and boring, just like he was in the bedroom.
Oh,
What do you think about Mariah Mills coming out, juicing up this moment that Anthony Edwards has to talk about her man Zion?
That might have been the most realistic tweet. Was it a tweet?
It was a video.
Oh, a video. That was like 90% factual, and then 10%, just biased towards her, probably having some hate towards the guy. But for the most part, pretty accurate, pretty damn accurate. He's not the exciting college player that he was. It does only seem like he can dunk. He definitely is overweight.
He's huge.
The addition that you got to move up to level 3 is really funny on the treadmill. And he drinks too much soda. That's hilarious too, because I wouldn't doubt it. He's probably playing too many video games while drinking soda. Yeah. Pretty factual, Cobreezy. What do you think?
Definitely pretty factual. It's funny she put him on the spot about drinking soda. That's good, but definitely, like we said about Zion Williamson over the summer, that he was a leading candidate for NBA's biggest douchebag. Anthony Edwards right up there with him.
Oh,
and he I mean, that's going to be close right there. Anthony Edwards might be a bigger douche than Zion in this situation.
I completely agree. I actually, okay. Again, this is allegedly. Okay, allegedly. Reportedly. If this is factual, which we'll probably find out within the coming weeks, 100% that he tops Zion. 100%. Zion didn't tell Mariah Mills or was it Akima? Yeah, go kill that baby. No, he did not tell him to go do that. So I now have respect for Zion based on what Anthony Edwards is doing. Anthony Edwards, if this story is true, he might be on top of the list for biggest douchebag in the NBA this year.
Moving along this week, we got more breaking news out of the NBA. Golden State Warrior forward Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely for another ridiculous, idiotic altercation on the court. He nailed Phoenix Sun center Yusuf Nurkic with a spinning closed fist directly in the face. Nurkic went down, and he stayed down for a bit. This is about a month after Draymond put Rudy Gobert in a headlock and drug him a few feet across the floor. Served a 5-game suspension for that. Didn't learn his lesson, obviously. This is also after Draymond stomped on Domantas Sabonis in the playoffs last season. Remember that?
Oh,
just last playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget when he kicked poor Steven Adams right in the fucking nuts. Right in the nuts. Okay?
Yep.
This is nothing new from Draymond. He has begun counseling and will remain sidelined for at least the next 3 weeks. Quote from Draymond, "I sell calls with my arms." He's a flopper. So swinging fists, he's trying to sell a call here. Now, Max, we see the NBA interesting when they handle things like this. Ja, he gets a 25-game suspension. Shout out Ja. He came back last night, hit a game winner, 34 points.
Nice. Hopefully he learned his lesson, just so we were clear. I hope, because, again, he is a rare talent, and I do hope that he learned his lesson so he can be a standout in the NBA.
Definitely. Ja served a 25-game suspension for flashing firearms on Instagram Live. Did nothing illegal. But yet we got Josh Giddey out here that was dating a 15-year-old, yet he's still playing.
Yeah.
With that in mind, what do you think the NBA is going to do with Draymond Green here? Is he done for the season? Like, is he coming back next month? What do you think?
I know nothing's really going to happen here. He might get suspended for 2 weeks or whatever. Maybe 20. Maybe he gets as much as like 20 games. But let's just say what we believe should happen. In order for this guy to get back into the game, I think that he should have to play in a straitjacket. All right. Put that guy in a straitjacket. He could play defense with his legs. All right. He can't shoot. He can't keep those arms up because he's got to figure out how he can stop hitting people. This guy has serious issues. He has mental problems. He always is up in the league for the most technical fouls. Yep. He's always getting into fights. He's always punching people in the balls or kicking people in the balls.
Yep.
Like this guy, he needs to be out of the league. Honestly, I think the NBA would be better without this guy. He's a douchebag. And you know what? How many douchebags do we already have for NBA's biggest douchebag this year? Last year we had 5. Okay. We rushed it last year. We rushed it. But this year, we might get to like 15 different players. Oh my Lord.
I find it pretty interesting that no one does anything to Draymond after these altercations. I went and I looked at all 4 of these instances with Nurkic, with Sabonis, with Steven Adams, and Rudy Gobert with the headlock. All 4 of those guys, those 4 victims, did nothing, didn't go after Draymond. No teammates got in Draymond's face. Now with Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, and Big Cat, they just kind of held him back. But no one's going at Draymond. No one's throwing punches in their teammates' defense, or like Nurkic didn't get up and go after him. Rudy Gobert didn't get out of the headlock and go after him. Sabonis didn't get up off the floor and go after him. Steven Adams didn't do anything to him.
Yeah.
Is he the toughest dude in the NBA?
Well said, by the way, Cobriz. You're absolutely right. No one's standing up for each other anymore. I understand that everyone's afraid to be suspended. Sabonis, that was in the playoffs. He gets suspended. The King, well, it's not like the Kings went anywhere anyway, but they would be that would be it. So I can kind of understand that scenario. But yeah, what happened to the 80s, right? Where if Draymond did that, my goodness, everyone would be at each other. And not that I'm saying that we need that, but the fact that you have a team to back you up, it shows actually love for each other in a way. I'm not pronouncing that we should be fighting each other. I'm saying that when someone hits one of your friends, it's okay to stand up for your friend, to stand up for your family. Okay. I kind of miss it. I kind of miss seeing that. Okay. Because it is a good thing to do that, because you show everyone it is wrong. When Draymond continues to do this shit and nothing happens, you're showing everyone that it isn't wrong, that he can just do whatever he wants. Draymond, at the end of the day, this is just a guy that, like in California, all the crazy homeless people and all the people that are psychotic. When you start seeing someone yelling at the wall and then he turns and yells at you in your face, you kind of just move on with it because you're like, oh, well, that guy's crazy.
Right.
That's kind of what Draymond is, I think, is that he just does his thing. He yells, he punches someone, and then everyone's like, okay, he's crazy. Kind of just move on with it.
And that's a good analysis there. I forgot, I even left out. I just remembered when he fucking knocked out Jordan Poole in that practice. Let's not forget about that.
Yep, I do remember that.
Going into last season, I believe.
Yep.
Ridiculous. He's going to be up there top 3, easily top 5, but maybe even top 3 for NBA's biggest douchebag this year.
No doubt. He might be the biggest douchebag ever in the NBA. We might have to do a history. What eventually we'll get there, but he might very well be up there.
Moving into our college basketball talk this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, we got to bounce around the AP poll a little bit. The Associated Press reclaiming the top spot this week was the Purdue Boilermakers. They received 48 out of 62 first place votes. They took down number 1 Arizona 92-84 in the Indy Classic in Indianapolis on Saturday. Max, what do you have for me on that game and your Boilers?
Unbelievable game. Unbelievable. I told you before the show, Cobrizi, I almost didn't watch it because it was on Peacock. I didn't want to spend money in order to watch it. And then I talked with my wife, and we're all both like, okay, $6, it's worth it. It's worth it because this is a number 3 seed taking on a number 1. And then I find out later that Purdue's going to be on Peacock like 5 other games this season. What the fuck?
There you go.
Yeah, whatever. So I guess it's worth it at the end of the day. But what a hell of a game. Okay. They started out slow in the first 2 minutes. They picked it up. They're up by 9 at halftime. They go on a run where they're up by like 17 at one point. They slowed down because Arizona went into a 2-3 zone. It kind of flustered Purdue. Yeah. It kind of just like shook them. But then Lance Jones hits this big time 3-pointer wide open. And then that was it. Like basically after that, Purdue played some really great defense. Let me just go ahead and just give some very quick stats from the game so we can move on already. Zach Edey, again, 22 points, only 9 rebounds, but get this, Cole Breezy, 5 assists. 5 assists from a 7'4" big man.
Passing it out.
Yeah. Braden Smith, who I believe, Cole Breezy, it could very well be on a top 20 wooden watch this year.
Ooh,
I have a feeling he is going to squeak in there.
Sure.
26 points, 4 rebounds, and only 2 assists. It was all about the scoring and even defense. He had some big plays slapping that ball out of the big guys. Ballo, was that his name? Ballo?
Umar Ballo, yep.
Ballo. And then Fletcher Lawyer had 27 points. I've been talking all year, maybe not on the Don't Tell Mama, but definitely to my wife, because she always has to listen to me complain about the players. Fletcher Lawyer is one of the worst defenders I've seen on Purdue. Last game against Arizona, unbelievable. Completely shut me up. Steal after steal, charge after charge. He was just playing lights out. And because of that, his defense turned into offense. 27 points, man. As a team, they shot 53.8% from the field, 41.7% from three-pointers. They had 22 assists, only 32 rebounds. That to me is come on. And they also had 10 steals. They really were playing defense that game. Purdue is the best team in the country, no doubt in my mind.
Both teams actually shot over 50% from the floor. It was a nice offensive game here. Definitely. Caleb Love led Arizona with 29 points on 9 and 19 shooting, 7 of 7 from the line. He hit 4 threes. He's been balling.
Yeah.
You said Purdue scorching from downtown, 10 of 24. Only 4 bench points. That one caught my eye there, Max. Only 4 bench points.
Really quick. The bench, everyone that comes off the bench, all they're doing is playing defense. That's energy. Really all they're doing. They just bring energy and defense. That's it.
Great role players off the bench for Purdue. This was the Boilers' first win over the AP #1 since 2000. That was also over Arizona in Indianapolis. In Indianapolis. Isn't that crazy?
History repeats itself.
That's crazy. 23 years later.
How about that?
The Boilers have a couple cupcakes against Jacksonville and Eastern Kentucky before Big Ten play starts at Maryland on January 2nd. Are you saying easy 3-0 there?
Easy 3-0. No doubt about it.
Moving into my Kansas Jayhawks. Rock chalk, baby. They won at Indiana. The Hoosiers gave them a battle. Jayhawks pulled it off 75-71 on Saturday. Kansas trailed by 8 points at halftime. And, Kelly looked at me. She said, Bill Self's going to go in there, sprinkle some fairy dust on the boys. They're going to be coming out. Kelly was confident about it. But it didn't happen right away. They trailed by 13 in the second half, okay? This baby was looking rough. Kansas took their first lead on a Hunter Dickinson jump hook with under 5 minutes remaining in the game. Didn't lead until under 5 minutes remaining. The Hoosiers were winning this whole game. Kansas had 4 guys in double figures led by Kevin McCullers, 21. He shot 13 of 16 from the free throw line. 13 of 16 from the free throw line.
A lot of free throws.
Aggressive. The Hoosiers, they were led by senior Trey Galloway. He had 28 points on 12 of 17 shooting. Very efficient.
Wow.
All the team stats, they were pretty close in this game, but the biggest one that stood out to me was an 18-10 assist advantage for Kansas. It was just more team ball. The ball was moving. The ball was hot. What do you got on my Jayhawks for me?
I was lucky enough to be watching that game as well. Watched that on the Peloton. All right, getting my cardio in while watching the game. Love doing that. Love watching some basketball while doing some cardio. Gets me pumped up.
You're just distracted. Don't even realize you're doing it.
Exactly. Before you know it, I'm like, okay. I'm done with my workout. Great game, unbelievable. Because there was a point I was like, no way, is Indiana really? Because you saw the fans. And they were itching to get on that court. You knew they wanted to run on the court. Ooh. They wanted to storm the court. But I think your wife was right. Some fairy dust was sprinkled all over them. And some magic happened because Kansas is a great team. They're number 2? Two. Yeah, number 2. How about it, Cole Breezy? The best 2 teams in the country, right here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. The biggest fans that you can ask for.
Yeah.
It's what a good year for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast.
Hell yeah. Last year too, we were both 1 seeds.
Heck yeah.
This was Kansas's first ever win inside Assembly Hall. They were 0-3 previously. Not a lot of matchups. Not a lot of matchups.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Kansas hosts Yale and then plays Wichita State in Kansas City before starting Big 12 play against TCU on January 6th. Horned Frogs, they always put up a battle, but that's going to be a 3-0 record. We got the top 2 teams in the nation here, Max.
Heck yeah, man.
Another team we want to talk about. We haven't talked about the Rebels from Ole Miss yet because they're one of 3 undefeated Division I teams remaining in the nation.
How about it?
Ole Miss is ranked for the first time since January of 2019. Their 11-0 start is their best since opening 13-0 in 2007. The Rebels are led by senior Auburn transfer Alan Flanagan. He's putting up 17.7 boards and 3 assists. Big man Jamarion Sharp is tied for 5th in the nation with 2.8 blocks per game.
Ooh, I like it.
The team is shooting 39.2% from 3. That's 17th in the nation. Their best wins are at Temple versus NC State and Memphis at home and at UCF. That gives you a strength of schedule of 233rd, according to ESPN. What do you think about the Ole Miss Rebels and being one of the last 3 undefeated teams in Division I?
Great stats. I love to see a team that we haven't heard in a long time. When was the last time that we really heard about Ole Miss? You know who I'm thinking about.
Oh, the little white guy.
Yeah, what was his name?
The white guy, yeah.
He was a stroker. He just kept draining, and then he was cocky.
Might have been January 2019, the last time they were ranked, and that might have been the season he was there.
Man. If anyone can please put it in the comments.
And the Ole Miss fans out there.
Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, Ole Miss, man, not too far away from where I'm at. Not too far. Okay, it's I'm telling you, Tennessee's a great place to live. I'm close to every single state down here in the South. But biggest win I would say is definitely against Memphis. I think Memphis is underrated. Okay, Memphis is really good. They just had a great win this weekend against I'll get back to you on that ASAP.
Clemson and Virginia.
It was Clemson. Oh, in Virginia too. How about that? Yeah. So some big wins there. But let's see what happens to Ole Miss once the SEC comes into play. Let's see how they play against Tennessee. Let's see how they play against like Arkansas and Texas
Alabama,
A&M,
Kentucky.
Alabama's okay. Kentucky. Kentucky's good. Florida. We will see. There's going to be a big test coming up for them, but good start for Ole Miss. You can never doubt a team that's going 11-0.
Yeah, definitely. You got to play the teams on your schedule, and they've taken everyone down. That home win against Memphis, that's the biggest one, definitely on the docket. Good 3-point shooting team so far. They're playing Southern Miss and Bryant before traveling to Knoxville to take on those Volunteers of Tennessee on January 6th. Okay. Gonna have to be watching that one on Saturday.
Might have to drive down for it.
Ooh.
I could go drive down to Knoxville for that game.
A lot of good SEC teams. You might need to catch a game this year.
Definitely.
Another team in your area, the last team we want to talk about in this AP poll reaction, are the Tigers of Memphis. Okay, we just said in this Ole Miss segment, they're coming off a couple big wins. But they are led by senior David Jones. He played his first 2 years at DePaul and then 1 at St. John's. He's averaging 20.8 points and 6.3 boards a game. He's had 5 straight games currently with at least 22 points. 5 straight with over 22. That's unheard of in college basketball. RJ Davis is doing it, but outside of that, David Jones of Memphis is balling.
Heck yeah.
Memphis' 2 losses were to Villanova in the Battle for Atlantis championship game, and then at undefeated Ole Miss that we were just talking about. Their last 3 games have all been wins over ranked opponents: Virginia, Clemson, and at Texas A&M.
Wow.
Memphis is playing some teams here in the non-conference. The Tigers also own wins over Arkansas and Michigan in the Bahamas, as well as on the road against VCU and Missouri. That's a strength of schedule of 8th, according to ESPN.
I was going to say, oh my goodness, like these are some big time names.
Come on. Javon Quinterly has come over from Alabama to run the point. And big man Naquan Tomlin is about to be eligible after his release from Kansas State. He averaged 10 points and 6 boards for that Elite Eight team last year. He got kicked off the team. He got in a fight at a bar scrap for Naquan Tomlin. But guess what? Memphis is going to scoop him up. He's about to be eligible. What do you have for me on the AAC Memphis Tigers?
This might very well be the AAC champions, okay, because they always were going up against Houston. They stole one from Houston last year, I believe. I thought I remember seeing that game.
I believe so.
Unless Houston hit a game-winning shot. Oh, my goodness.
Jamal Shed definitely hit a game winner against Memphis last year, but they played twice. So
yeah. Anyway, this year it's theirs. Okay, Houston's gone. Okay, they're in the Big 12 now.
And you know who replaced them?
No,
Florida Atlantic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's those two teams. It's those two teams.
And so yeah, definitely those two. But man, I'm excited to see Memphis play Florida Atlantic. That'll be a great games.
Twice.
So I think this team is making the dance, no doubt about it. We're looking at a 26-8 team, maybe even better than that.
Oh, I'm going better than that in this American. I think we could be possibly looking at a top 4 seed with the 8th ranked strength of schedule.
Ooh, 4th seed. Oh my! I
say a top 4 seed right now for Memphis. I'm going to give it to him with the 8th ranked strength of schedule. Penny Hardaway, he did a hell of a job scheduling this non-conference schedule. He knows he's not going to have a lot of resume building wins in the American Athletic Conference outside of FAU. Look out for those Tigers come March. Look out.
Heck yeah.
Last thing that we want to talk about this week for college basketball. It's a light week, Max. It's finals week, Christmas break. As it is every year, this week and next week, it's pretty light for college basketball. But we got one matchup here to talk about. On Saturday, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, we got the 4th ranked Wildcats of Arizona taking on the 14th ranked Florida Atlantic Owls in Las Vegas. Okay. Arizona, they're about to be playing Alabama tonight, tipping off here in about 5 minutes currently. So watch out for that game before you look into it.
ESPN?
Oh yeah, ESPN triple header tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Arizona, they're top 10 in the nation in field goal percentage and rebounds per game, and they lead the nation with 21.9 assists per game.
Wow.
All 5 starters are still averaging double figures, still led by senior Caleb Love, averaging 15.8 points, 5.1 boards, and 4.3 assists. FAU, the Owls, their big 3 of Vlad Golden, Jonell Davis, and Elijah Martin, they're still leading the club. Vlad, he's averaging 15 points and 7 boards on 76% shooting. Max, that leads the nation. 76% shooting from Vlad Golden.
Wow.
FAU, they're 13th in the nation in field goal percentage at 50.8%, but only shooting 68.1% from the line. That's 271st. Do you think the Owls can upset these Wildcats of Arizona in Las Vegas?
I think so. I think they can do it. But it's gonna be very tough. Florida Atlantic.
Put your balls on the table and call it. You gonna put your balls on the table tonight?
Hey, if that's where the balls are rolling there in Vegas, there could be some bets swaying the other way there. It's a fairly neutral court. Fairly. Okay, it's a little bit closer to Arizona. I understand that, but in Las Vegas, there's no true fans in Vegas. Okay, people are getting drunk, hitting the slot machines, and you want to go see a basketball game? Oh, let's do that. All right, and we had that joke. Buy a ticket, get a free hooker, half off, or whatever.
The Raiders,
the Raiders game, the Raiders. Buy a ticket, get a half off hooker. Same thing here, but I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm still going Arizona. I think they were the better team, no doubt about it. They played well against Purdue. Purdue's just a better team. Sorry. Just how it is. So I think they get it done here, Arizona.
I got to agree with you, Max. It's going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a couple possession game with a minute to go. According to Ken Palm, both of these teams are in the top 10 offensively. Arizona's ranked 6th. FAU's ranked 7th. So it's going to be up and down game. Bodies are going to be banging in the paint. Umar Ballo and Vlad Golden. Oh, boy, that's a juicy matchup. But I'm with you on this one. I'm going Arizona over FAU in Las Vegas. Welcome back here to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. We had a little tease in the intro saying that there was going to be a queef joining us for the NFL. We'd like to welcome in our buddy, Samson Belkis. Sam, what's going on, man?
Gentlemen, how's it going? Appreciate you having me on. It's been a minute.
Hell yeah, dude. We had to get you back in here for a little NFL talk. I noticed the Colts hat got a big win this past weekend over remind me,
Steelers.
the Steelers, who are shit in the bed right now for sure.
Yeah, they look like crap.
Jonathan Taylor going to play this weekend? I want to know right off the bat.
I hope so. He was a full participant in practice today, I believe. So that's a good sign.
Good to hear. If he is, I'm going to be starting him in my matchup. Speaking of your matchup, Sam, we're going to start off right now congratulating you on your second Final Four appearance in your 5-year history in our fantasy football league. What do you think about your matchup with Jack coming up? Do you think you can take this baby home?
I'm excited. First of all, I'm just glad to not be in the Queef playoffs. I think I said it on this podcast officially. If I was the loser of our league for a third straight year, I was going to remove myself from the league. I just wouldn't have been able to come back from that. So let's get that out of the way first and foremost. Just glad to not be in the loser bracket. But not only that, there's a potential for this guy to go from worst to first. And I think that would be league history. So I'm excited. I think I met up with Jack a couple times in the regular season. He's tough. We finished with the same record. He's been in the playoffs many times in your guys' league. So all the respect in the world for him. I'm not taking it for granted. Not saying I'm going to whoop him. I think it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, I might just sneak my way into the championship game.
Max, do you agree with me that you're a little sad that the reigning double scooped queef of the year, the reign for Sam is coming to an end? Are you a little sad about that?
Honestly, yes. It's almost like you just want a tradition to keep going. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. You love traditions, right? So, a traditional queef is always a good way to make you smile. But no, Sam has a great team this year. Honestly, he drafted well. As soon as he had that #1 overall pick with Bijan Robinson, yes, great pickups as well. He managed his team very well, so he deserves to be in the Final Four. It's going to be, like you said, a great matchup with Jack. Jack's been there; he's been a champion as well. But one big thing that I'm sure you're looking at, Ja'Marr Chase looks like he's going to be out. So that is
already
huge,
ruled out.
Already ruled out. That is huge news for you. You got to be happy to hear that. Because I wasn't so happy to hear that. Because I faced him last week and sadly lost.
Yeah, look, everybody deals with injuries. You don't want someone else's best players to go down, but given the choice of him having Ja'Marr Chase and not having Ja'Marr Chase, I mean, come on, that doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, for sure. Moving along here with some more NFL talk and staying with the baby mama drama. We were just talking about Anthony Edwards and Zion Williamson. Sam here, before we jumped on, he broke a little news to us about Tyreek Hill. Sam, you want to fill us in on that?
Sure, happy to. Just got one of those, another fantasy league that I'm in. Just somebody people send funny tweets, and it was one about Tyreek Hill. Apparently, he's got some paternity suits coming his way. He has supposedly had his third kid this year with 3 different women or something like that.
Oh my God.
Now this is all alleged. I'm not actually breaking news. I'm not a reporter or anything. This is just something I saw on the internet. But there's pictures of these women with babies with his jersey on and stuff like that. Everybody trying to get a piece, which he's having a hell of a season. So might not be a bad time to get a little bit of that money.
And he just got married here recently within like the last month or two. Max, what do you think about 3 kids from 3 different women in the same year?
Oh my goodness. I hope it's not real, because I really like Tyreek Hill, and I don't want to lose respect for him, unless of course that he's going to take care of those kids, then I'll give him respect for that, obviously. But I hope it's not real. Oh, geez. What is going on? Didn't we ever learn to pull out You know, what's going on here? No pulling out, no condoms, just straight in and let it happen. You know, I don't know, but that's all I got to say about that.
I was joking with Matt before we came on that I know that NFL players are younger than me now because clearly none of them have heard from the great poet Lil Wayne. Safe sex is great sex. Better wear a latex because you don't want that latex that I think I'm latex. They haven't heard it. Clearly, they're not wrapping it up.
Wheezy.
Well said. Well said.
Moving along here this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, we got to talk about our Week 15 Hades three-headed dog.
Oh, yeah.
Max, why don't you take us through that?
The Hades three-headed dogs are back. Okay, we have two this week, guys. Last week, to lead it off, a tight end got it. I feel like the tight ends, we got a few Hades three-headed dogs this year. Definitely George Kittle is one I can remember.
Yep.
But Sam Laporta, a rookie, got a Hades three-headed dog, everybody. I'm telling you right now, Sam Laporta was either one of the very last picks in your draft or you picked him up off of waivers. And this guy is a steal. You're probably looking at him as a potential keeper since tight ends are so thin, and he looks like a legit tight end. Last week he had 5 catches for only 56 yards, but come on, 3 touchdowns. That's good for 26.1 fantasy points. Oh my goodness, you got to be happy about that. And that was against a Denver team that apparently has a decent defense. No, I'm just kidding.
He sucks. Sam Laporta was my extra juicy dog at the tight end position because he was playing the Broncos, who were 31st against the tight end position. Now I believe they're last. Sam Laporta, he's top 5 at the tight end position in receptions, receiving yards, and targets. And he leads the tight end position with 9 touchdowns, boys. 9 touchdowns for Laporta. Sam, what do you think about Sam Laporta, and where does he rank in your tight end rankings going into next season?
If you look at what he's doing, he's on a historic pace. Even tight ends that are drafted at the top of the draft don't do what he's done this year. I mean, seriously, take a look back at some of these prolific tight ends that are in the league now. None of them were doing what Sam Laporta is doing in his rookie year. I mean, it's incredible, and especially like you said, the volume as far as touchdowns. For me, easily top 5 next year, maybe even top 3. It's incredible, and Jared Goff likes to sling it, so ideal fantasy pickup at the tight end position, which, as you said, is very thin for guys at the top.
I'll be looking at Sam Laporta next year for sure if he's available. Max, give us our second guy here.
The only other one, oh man, the cheat code, Christian McCaffrey against Arizona. Oh my goodness, 115 rushing yards. He had a touchdown on the ground. And then not to mention he had 5 catches for 72 yards and 2 other touchdowns. That's good for 41.2 fantasy points.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness. Come to our fantasy football award show coming in January. Come that time, Christian McCaffrey might very well be the MVP of our fantasy football league.
I got to agree with you right now, Max. Christian McCaffrey has 20 touchdowns on the season, 13 rushing and 7 receiving. He leads the league in carries and rushing yards. He leads the running back position in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. He is averaging 25.2 PPR fantasy points, more than any other player in the NFL. Sam, what do you think about the free square and bingo that Christian McCaffrey provides?
EA Sports CMC with everything turned up to 100. I mean, it's a cheat code. It really is. It's incredible. I mean, and the run that he was on with consecutive games with touchdowns, like, it's just cool to be at an age where you can remember things like this. Like, we'll be telling our kids about this one day, that we were, watching football when CMC was doing what he's doing.
Yeah, you're right.
Heck yeah.
We almost had a much longer segment here because guys this week with 2 touchdowns: Raheem Mostert, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook, Deebo Samuel, T. Higgins, Jordan Addison, Curtis Samuel, and Trey Tucker. All those guys had 2 touchdowns on the week.
Pretty close. They were just nipping at it.
Sam, you got a window open or anything in the back? Is that window open? I think I hear something.
Oh, I see something in the tree. I
It
see
might be a
something in the
jar.
tree, Sam.
Something moving back there.
Some wings flapping, maybe.
It's our Gooses, boys. It's our Gooses. We got to take a couple minutes here to talk about our Week 15 NFL Gooses. That's when a player either gives you 0 points or negative points in your fantasy lineups. Starting off, my wife, Kelly. She got a double Goosey last week. Brandon McManus and the Chargers defense special teams gooster. First off with McManus. He's the kicker 10 on the season. After this goose, this was against Baltimore. He's playing at Tampa Bay and then versus Carolina. Are you dropping him, Max? Are you going to find another kicker after this?
I don't know who's available. Maybe Nick Folk, everybody, if you're looking after him. Old, but with a young leg. How about that? Brandon McManus looked terrible last game, man. I'll tell you right now, the Jaguars look like shit. They were red hot, and now as soon as Christian Kirk went down, their offense is just all haywire right now.
Sam, I know you have some thoughts on the Jaguars for us in that AFC South division. What are those quickly?
Well, I thought they spent a lot of the season overachieving. I think everybody thought after their finish last year that they were the it team in the AFC South, but I still think there's a little bit of work to do. And I'm going to have to agree with Max. I think that Christian Kirk was that it factor or that glue that held the offense together. They've had some major struggles as of late, so much so that they're essentially in a three-way tie for winning the AFC South with Colts and the Texans.
Juicier division than we thought there, fellas. But mentioning that other goose, it was the Chargers defense special teams. They were at Las Vegas in that Thursday night game, gave up 63 points, a franchise record for the Raiders, a franchise record for the Chargers for most given up points. They're the 29th ranked defense on the season. Max, they're playing Buffalo at home and then they're coming here to Denver. You dropping the Chargers defense?
Why do you even have Chargers in your lineup? Why would you even put that in there?
Raiders, no Josh Jacobs. No
terrible
Josh Jacobs.
decision. Terrible decision.
Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell had 4 touchdowns. Go Boilers.
Career game.
At halftime. Sure. At halftime.
Sam, is the Chargers season over?
Oh, it's been over. No one ever does well when they have to fire their head coach in the middle of the season. I speak from experience. I think once Justin Herbert went down, the only viable fantasy option on that entire team is Keenan Allen. So I'm going to have to, again, agree with Max. I don't see why there's a Charger in your lineup at all unless it is Keenan Allen. And I'm going to have to, I have to say, I commented on one of your guys' podcast videos on YouTube many months ago, thinking that the Chargers were going to be, so I had the Chargers and the 49ers as my Super Bowl teams.
Oh, Queef Sam.
Oh, man, was I ever...
I
mean, you look at their roster.
Yes.
You could easily see how they could be a Super Bowl contending team. I think coaching and culture, maybe they got some stuff to figure out.
They're gonna figure it out by firing Brandon Staley here pretty soon.
Oh, I've been talking about Staley all year, saying that it's been a coaching problem. This guy, with that offense, like we just said, are you kidding me? How are you not winning? How are you not new coach? Yeah, get him out of there. They made the right decision.
Another goose we want to talk about here from week 15 was our guy Maxwell Faulkner in his first round playoff matchup. He got goosed by Dalton Kincaid against Dallas. He's tight end 12 now in the season. He's going to play at Los Angeles Chargers, then they're hosting New England. He only had a 49% snap share in this one. What do you think about your goose? And what happened after that goose, Max?
Well, that goose definitely led to a loss. Okay. I kept on telling myself it's a lucky goose. It's a lucky goose. Okay.
Christmas
it's a lucky goose egg. It's lucky goose, like those golden chocolate eggs in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But yeah, when you get a goose in your lineup, it's so freaking hard to come back from. And Dalton Kincaid, man, what a disappointment, because I was bragging about him when Dawson Knox went out, and I said Dalton Kincaid's the next big tight end, which I still think he can be in the future. But man, like, not to mention that Josh Allen only threw for 94 passing yards.
7 completions.
Yeah. Oh my
Seven
goodness.
completions.
2 targets for Dalton Kincaid, 2 targets. And man, it was a tough loss for me, everybody. Losing in the playoffs. Come Monday, I had 2 questionables pop up. Keenan Allen, Josh Jacobs. Got a little nervous. Okay, come Tuesday. I'm hearing that Keenan Allen's more than likely going to be out. Okay, come Wednesday, Keenan Allen's out. I'm like, okay, got to swap him out. Come Thursday, Josh Jacobs out. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Okay, I basically just filled my lineup, and still we put up a fight. But when you have since the beginning of the season, Nick Chubb went out, Joe Burrow went out, Christian Kirk went out, and then in my playoff game, Josh Jacobs and Keenan Allen. It's very, very hard to win when you have those caliber players on your team not playing.
Sometimes the winner of your fantasy leagues is the team that can stay the most healthy. Is the team that lucks out the most with health.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of Gooses in our league this season, and we saw a lot of teams win with Gooses. But these playoff Gooses sent both you and Kelly packing. Can't have a playoff Goose. One more Goose we want to talk about. He wasn't in our league, but we got to talk about this guy as the possible leader of the Goose crew, because Gabe Davis actually goosed again against these Cowboys.
He goosed?
Back-to-back Gooses for Gabe Davis. He has goosed in 3 of the last 4 games and 4 of the last 6. 4 Gooses in 6 games. Still somehow wide receiver 42 in full PPR leagues. Sam, freaking Dawson Knox also goosed in this game. So Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Gabe Davis, they all goosed. Sam, is Gabe Davis the leader of the Goose crew?
Absolutely. It's become a joke in the fantasy circles, because for a while he was having a game where he'd go off and then followed up with a goose, kind of go back and forth. But lately it's just been Gooses. He was on my bench for a while.
Ooh.
I'd had enough and I dropped him. I knew somebody would pick him up pretty quick, and I think maybe it was Kelly, but
it was Jack. I think Jack.
Oh, it was Jack. Yeah, king of the goose.
Max, he's got 3 Gooses in his last 4 games and 4 in his last 6. Does he get your vote for leader of the Goose crew, Gabe Davis?
He's definitely leader of the Goose crew. Come playoff time, Jack had him in his lineup. He must have heard our last podcast, because we were talking about him being the leader of the Goose crew. Swapped him out for someone obviously better. And so, see, we got good advice here at the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Don't put in a guy that gives you a goose.
Last segment this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, we got our NFL's Week 16 extra juicy dogs. Max, why don't you lead us off with your quarterback?
I started howling. My dog started looking at me.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I'm a dog, buddy. I'm a dog. All right. Let's lead up. Extra juicy dogs, baby. I'm going Josh Allen here. Okay, Josh Allen's going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. I understand that last week he had 94 passing yards, only 1 touchdown, also a rushing touchdown, though. And even though he only had 94 passing yards, this guy had 15.4 fantasy points. That's a solid game. Very solid when you only throw 94 yards, okay? He's going to get up against the Chargers. The Chargers are tanking. They're done, okay? But the Buffalo Bills, they got to bring it. They have to bring it because they're trying to squeeze into this playoff. I think he goes off. I got Josh Allen, baby.
That's going to be a blowout there of the Chargers. Sam, give us your extra juicy dog at the quarterback position.
My extra juicy dog at the quarterback position is none other than Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. He's got the Arizona defense this week, ranked 25th against the quarterback. He's been a little streaky since he's come back from, I believe, a thumb injury. But he usually follows up a down game with a game of like over 20. So he last scored 9. So I'm hoping that he continues to follow that pattern and gives me like 25, 26 points. He's dynamic with his legs. He's a dynamic runner. His rushing attempts have been up since he's come back from his injury. And he's thrown the ball to the likes of DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. Let's go, baby.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like that one. Justin Fields, I got him in our other league, held on to him all season. That rushing ability is special. It's special, but like your dad said, Max, when he throws the ball, oof.
Yeah. Cold in Chicago. Ooh.
Oh, Windy City. My extra juicy dog at the quarterback position for week 16 is going to be Baker Mayfield. Okay, Queef Baker.
Mayqueef.
Versus Jacksonville. He's QB 15 on the season, Baker is. He's coming off a 4-touchdown game at Green Bay, where he was 22 of 28 for 381 yards. Green Bay was 8th against the quarterback position going into that game. They were 8th against the quarterback position. The Bucks, they're 1.5-point home favorites against the Jaguars. 43.5-point over-under isn't terrible. These Jaguars, they're 30th against the quarterback position. He just tore up the 8th-ranked defense against quarterbacks in Green Bay. Big game coming here for Baker. You can fire him up if you're a guy that lost Justin Herbert a couple of weeks ago. Go get Baker. I went and put in a waiver claim for Baker last night. Zach beat me to him, damn it. Zach, I think, is firing up Baker this week.
Wow.
Yeah. Max, give us your extra juicy dog at the running back position.
Going to the extra juicy dog at the running back position, Kenneth Walker III of Seattle. Okay, big time game on Monday night. This against the Eagles. He's playing against Tennessee. Tennessee's ranked 17th against the run. Not bad, right in the middle of the pack. But I'm telling you right now, he went up against the number 1 rushing defense of the Eagles. He had 86 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown, 3 catches for 26 yards. That's 18.7 fantasy points. He's back. I think he's back. And you know why I think he's back? It's because Seattle is pushing for a playoff, and they need a healthy Kenneth Walker to get them into the playoffs. I think they can do it because I think Pete Carroll has a magic touch to his game. So, hey, Kenneth Walker better be fired in your lineups. And I'm telling you right now, he's getting in the end zone. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, Kenneth Walker III. Let's go, baby.
First one of the week. Gino's supposed to be back for this one. This should be an easy win over the Titans, unfortunately. Sam, give us your extra juicy dog at the running back position.
My extra juicy dog at the running back position is Kyren Williams.
Ooh.
He has been a lot of fun since he's come back from IR. He had that amazing game where he had somewhere around 40 fantasy points. Look, they got the New Orleans defense this week. New Orleans D is tough, especially against the run, but there have been games where teams have been able to run on them. And you got old Sean McVay. He's a wizard, good play caller. There's some crazy stat about how Kyren Williams never runs against a full box because of the way McVay schemes up the offense, like running from shotgun and things like that. And volume is king in fantasy. And if you look at Kyron's carries, I mean, he's getting 20-plus carries every game. So even against a tough defense, you got to fire him up, especially this late in the season with injuries. He's reliable. He's going to get points, and he's also going to get a touchdown, guaranteeing it. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, Kyren Williams.
Hello. Definitely like Kyren Williams. Definitely has to be in keeper consideration for you. Mm-hmm. Hell of a season for him. My extra juicy dog at the running back position for week 16 is going to be James Cook because he's playing the Chargers, boys. Going to be an ass beating there. James Cook, he's the RB7 in full PPR leagues on the season. Last week versus Dallas, he had 25 carries for $179 and a touchdown. Also had 2 catches for 42 receiving yards and another touchdown. The 179 rushing yards is by far his career high, and his previous career high in carries was 17. He had 25 in this one. So they're giving him the ball a lot more. The new offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, they want to pound it a little bit more. Cook has had his 2 best fantasy performances of his career over the last 2 weeks. The Bills, they're the biggest favorites on the week at the Chargers, 12.5 points. 12.5 points point favorites. The running back's getting a touchdown, boys. My buddy, Mr. Tutty.
Yeah.
James Cook. The Chargers, they're 25th against the running back position. Fire up James Cook. Top 10 running back in the season. He's also in keeper consideration for whoever has him.
Definitely.
Max, give us your extra juicy receiver for week 16.
All right, moving on to the receiver. This guy has to wake up because this team is slumping. I got Calvin Ridley of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, going up against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tampa Bay is ranked 29th against wide receivers. Ever since Christian Kirk went down, guys, all Trevor Lawrence. All Trevor Lawrence is throwing to is Evan Ingram and Calvin Ridley. Okay, barely using Travis Etienne. Okay, barely passing it to him. I'm not seeing it. Okay, Calvin Ridley past 3 games, target wise, 8 targets, 13 targets, 12 targets. Okay.
Solid.
Calvin Ridley has to wake up and he has to go get that ball, catch it, run with it, show your athleticism, go down the field and catch a 60-yard touchdown. Why don't you? They're still pushing for the playoffs now that the Colts are in the mix now. They both have the same record, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my goodness. Jacksonville, it's slipping through your fingers right now. They got to wake up. Calvin Ridley is getting in the end zone. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, I'm calling it right here. He's getting in there.
Jeez, you getting greedy on us tonight, Max. Back to back. Calvin Ridley, I agree with you. You got to wake up. Got to keep feeding Travis Etienne. He needs to keep getting the ball like he was in the middle of the season. Jaguars, their playoff chances. Yeah, you're right. It could slip through their fingers. Sam, give us your extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position for Week 16.
Well, you guys might have noticed a theme, and if you noticed it, you might know where I'm going here. Picking guys on my fantasy team. This one's a little risky. I don't know his injury designation. I'm not sure if he's going to play, but I'm telling you, if this guy plays, he's a smash play. My guy, Michael Pittman Jr. This guy has just been balling. He has a different quarterback every year. He says, "I don't care. I'm still gonna perform." 13 points, 16 points, 11 points. He dominates the middle of the field, and he is not afraid of contact. I mean, he might come back and play this Sunday after getting a concussion on a hit that was so dirty that player is suspended for the rest of the year. I mean, Michael Pittman got folded in half.
Scorpion.
But he might play this Sunday. And if he does, I'm telling you, put him in your lineup, start him. And it's been a little while, so he's due for a my butt.
A lot of guarantees today.
After getting bent backwards, he's going to the end zone.
He fucking scorpion.
He's a dog.
That was bad. Yeah, that defensive back for the Steelers suspended for the rest of the season. My goodness. Your Colts, man. Your Colts could be in the playoffs this year. They could. My extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown, boys. He's going to Minnesota. He is the wide receiver 5 in full PPR leagues on the season. He's coming off 7 catches for $112 and a touchdown against the Broncos last week. The 24-year-old St. Brown has already set career highs in receiving yards in a season with 1,175 and receiving touchdowns with 7. He's already got career highs in his 3-year career. The Lions, they're 3-point road favorites at Minnesota. 46.5-point over-under in this one. That's tied for second highest on the week. The Vikings, they're 23rd against the wide receiver position in fantasy points. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, Laporta was eating all of them last week. Amon-Ra still got one against Denver. He's going to get another one here at Minnesota. Divisional game. Lions need this one. Max finishes up here with your extra juicy tight end.
You know, this is a name that I don't think anyone knows about yet. Cobrizi, you picked him up, and he's in your starting lineup, if I'm not mistaken. Trey McBride from Arizona, man. Is this guy a rookie?
Second year. He's going up against my Chicago Bears. Chicago is ranked 30th against the tight end. The last 4 games, Trey McBride, as far as receptions go, 5 catches, 7 catches, 8 catches, 10 catches. It's only going up. Does he get more than that this week? Stay tuned. Last 2 games, as far as fantasy points go, 18.9 fantasy points and then 16.2. Dude, this is a guy you got to fire in your lineup right now. This guy's red hot. Not much is going on in Arizona, but Trey McBride is definitely a promising situation there. Yeah, like you said, I picked him up 5-6 weeks ago, maybe. Saw he was getting a lot more volume. Kyler Murray coming back. Marquise Holly Poop Brown. He's out of the lineup. He's goosing. He's not even playing.
Yeah,
Trey McBride might be the number 1 option here, boys, for the Cardinals in this game against the Bears. Sam, give us your tight end for this extra juicy dog segment for Week 16.
Real quick, Trey McBride, one of the best waiver wire pickups of this fantasy season, I think.
Oh, thank you. Might save me from the queef, huh? Might save me.
Might save you. He's a juicy dog. Another juicy dog at the tight end position is going to be Jake Ferguson.
Ooh, hey, my guy.
Hey.
Fergalicious definition, going to get in that end zone.
Wow.
Look,
tight end guarantee.
last 3 weeks, He's had 8 targets in every single game. That's a lot of volume for tight ends. Tight ends just don't get the ball thrown to them except for the elite guys at the top. Dak has always had a tight end that he's trusted and that he's gone to. We all remember Dalton Sharts balling out the last couple of years in that Dallas offense. Dak's missing his buddy, and he's got a new buddy in Jake Ferguson. He's gritty. He likes to block. They love that in Dallas. He's going to have a bounce back game, and I think so is Dallas. He didn't do a lot last week, neither did Dallas, but they have a lot to play for. So they're going to come in strong. It's going to be a good game against the Dolphins. I think it's going to be high octane, a lot of throwing the ball, a lot of offense.
Oh yeah.
Bodes well for Mr. Ferguson. And you thought Max was being greedy. Check this shit out. My buddy, Mr.
Oh my goodness, he's trying to catch up.
Whoa, trying to make up for lost time, are you, Samson?
Right.
Wow, trying to hit double digits before the season's over. Wow, 3 in 1 week. I like it. To finish us up here, my extra juicy dog at the tight end position. I had him a couple of weeks ago. I'm going back to him. David Njoku. They're playing at Houston. Njoku, he's tight end 6 in full PPR leagues on the season. Wow. Last week against your Bears, Max, he had a season-high 10 catches for a season-high 104 yards and a touchdown. The week before that, he had 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oh, my goodness. Tight end 2, both of those weeks on the week. Joe Flacco likes Njoku. In the 3 games that Joe Flacco has played, his passing attempts, 44, 45, and 44. Cleveland is not even trying to run the ball right now.
Wow.
The 38-year-old Joe Flacco is airing it out. He loves Njoku. The Browns, they're slight favorites on the road against these Houston Texans. Houston, they're 26th against the tight end position in fantasy points. I want to guarantee one. He's had 3 in the last 2 games, and you know what? I didn't have it marked on here, but Sam's making me jealous with the triple guarantee. So I'm gonna jump into Njoku, man. I drafted him. I got impatient with him. I dropped him. Somebody else scooped him up, and they're reaping the benefits right now, unfortunately. But hey, I think David Njoku gets in the end zone again at Houston this week.
Wow.
I like it.
Well, boys, that's going to do us this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Oh, my goodness. We hit 3 different sports. It was juicy. Like we said when we started this NFL conversation, Sam, congratulations to you for making the Final Four. That's a hell of a feat, especially if you're looking at the quarterback position from last week, the first week of your fantasy playoffs, week 15. Guys at the quarterback position, Nick Mullins, Easton Stick, Joe Flacco, Aiden O'Connell, and Jake Browning all outscored Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Trevor Lawrence on the week. Wow. Like that is just so unpredictable. So, Sam, hats off to you for making the Final Four. What do you have for us before you get out of here?
I appreciate it. It feels good. It feels good to be back in the win column after 2 very poor years. Look, it's going to be a wild playoffs. I hope you get your popcorn, and especially you 2 boys, since you're kind of just sitting back watching now. Just take a seat and see the fireworks, because I'm telling you, there's going to be fireworks. I've been in the lab already. I've been doing some stinker tinker time every time I go into work in the morning, get there a little early.
Oh.
Shitter, mess with my lineup. Can't make any mistakes. This is playing for keeps now. So, appreciate you guys having me on. Love talking football with you. And the Revenge of the Queefs might be the champions, and watch out for these guys too. Gonna sneak in there, I'm telling you. Shane Steichen's gonna be might be the coach of the year.
Possible okay. Shane Steichen. I like it. $1,000 for first place in our league, Sam. $1,000 for first. That is a fat pot. Max, what do you have for the people before we get out of here? We called on the people. We called on the people to tell your friends about the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. They came through. We needed 8. We got 12. We probably got another one while we've been sitting here. Subscribers on YouTube. Max, what do you think about that?
Well, first off, hey, Sam, good luck to you this week. I'm glad to see from Queef to potentially in the championship game. You got it, man. You got it. But yes, As far as our fans go, again, thank you so much for coming out to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for subscribing. And please like, comment, and subscribe. We love these conversations that we're having. We're having some really good talks on a lot of these different clips or shorts. It's been a lot of fun. Please keep bringing it because we're not afraid. We're not afraid to talk real with sports. Not here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. We will bring real sports to you. Okay, we're not no robots that are just listening to the same algorithm over and over. Okay, we speak what is real, and we want to make sure that everyone else understands that, and that you can also talk real to us. All right, we're not robots, everybody. We're humans. Let's talk about some real shit.
We're real. We bring the juice. But damn it, don't tell your mama.
Oh, don't tell. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And a Happy New Year.